As you become a coach, it has an impact on your whole life. It impacts how you listen, that you ask questions instead of giving advice. So what makes that possible? For me, it's that global listening is a huge part of that. Really being able to hear what your client is telling you. I remember when I first became a coach, I had 3 teenage sons at the time. So I probably took coaching because I totally needed a coach, raising 3 teenage boys. And the oldest 2 boys, they were older and they weren't really that involved as I became and was learning coaching. But the youngest son, he had the full advantage of having a mother who was a coach. And you know, I was a really terrific mother. I was like the perfect mother. My boys would come home from school and tell me about what happened at school. And being the perfect mother I would immediately begin to tell them what to do. I would offer them all of my motherly advice. They didn't really care for that too much. So I remember one time my 3rd son came home from school one day, and he was a little bit of a complainer. He came in the back door and he was complaining. And I said to him, "So how did school go?" Well, he started complaining. And I just listened for a while and I said to him, "So how do you feel about that?" And he looked at me. He said, "Are you coaching me?" And I said, No, I don't believe in coaching family members. Because of my coach training, I'm just a better listener. I'm just showing up differently in my own life. You might want to call it a coach approach to being a mother. And he thought about it for a minute and he said, "Well, all right." And then blah, blah, blah. He went back into his story. So what I'm noticing that, as so many coaches do, is you become a coach, it has an impact on your whole life. It impacts how you listen, that you ask questions instead of giving advice. So what makes that possible? For me, it's that global listening is a huge part of that. Really being able to hear what your client is telling you. I was doing a coaching demo when I was training one time, and my client was a man he's given me permission to share this story. He was a twin, and his twin sister was killed in a car accident. And he had a family, a wife and 2 children. His sister had never married and lived in the same city as the parents. So of course, when she died, the parents were just devastated. And after they healed, they decided to move to the same city as this man. And he was finding it really difficult because he said his father used up all the space. His father was a large man, but he was also a loud man. And my client found it really difficult to be around his father, and it was impacting their relationship. And he felt guilty because his family loved having the father around. I noticed when he was talking, he was saying to me, "I have to have a better relationship with my father. I have to have a better relationship with my father." Now I'm noticing, this is a good example of global listening, that every time he said, "I have to," it just had this negative kind of energy. And so I said to him, you know, I find myself curious I notice that when you say "I have to," it's got this different kind of energy from the rest of your conversation. I'm wondering if there might be another word that can support you even more. And he thought about it for a while, quite a while, and then he looked at me and he had tears in his eyes and he said, "I want to have a better relationship with my father." And then he said it again, "I want to have a better relationship with my father." Now the tears were flowing down his cheeks. And then he said something, and that there was tension in the class. Everybody was really impacted by this. And he said, "I know." He said, "I have to want to have a better relationship with my father." So we all had a little bit of a chuckle about that, but he turned this corner, and we were able to have a really great coaching conversation simply by changing one word.